I always imagined that the first snow here would feel magical. It felt cold. The snow fell way before I was ready for it. The stove was in, but the house still wasn't warm. Hi everyone, and welcome to Pomathorn Station Renovation. My name's Ian. I purchased this property last year at an auction house in Scotland. If you're new around here, head over to the channel to see all the previous episodes and what we're up to. This is episode 9, The First Snow. Today we'll run through the second fireplace dig out. We'll also talk about how the cold has revealed everything, and then I add a few tasks to the list for the upcoming weeks and months. Thank you for joining us here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, let's go. Digging out the second fireplace was something that we were all looking forward to. Again, it was one of those weeks where I got a lot of help. My mum, her partner Gavin, my dad and Ashley were all round and we all just got stuck in. The SDS drill made light work of getting into the second fireplace, and since I'd already dug out the first one, there wasn't really any concerns for the structure. I'd been through all this before, I understood how the fireplace was put together and where the structure was actually held. The fireplace got dug out in just a few hours, and then all the rubble and infill got bagged up. I knew I would need to lay some more linecrete for a potential second stove to sit on, so I added that to the list. Once the second fireplace was dug out, the bedroom, which this fireplace sat in, became one of the favourite rooms. Everybody loved this fireplace, and I couldn't wait to put a stove in it. The nice big sandstone blocks that made up the side pillars and then the mantle of the fireplace was just lovely to see. There were of course some damage to the wall and the fireplace surrounds, which I'd need to fix at some point. Also, this fireplace had a crazy amount of roots growing up through it. On the other side of this wall was that trench that we dug out on the first week, if anybody remembers that episode. And also on this side of the building is just a lot of vegetation. I'm not 100% sure exactly what plant roots had grown into the fireplace, but just from the look and the feel of them, I assumed that they're most likely tree roots. Either way, it was a little bit crazy and slightly worrying to see that the plants had really tried to take over this side of the house, including all the way into the house. We'd already cleared out a lot of vegetation from the outside of the building, so I scraped back the roots. I knew that once the stove went in, the heat from the stove would kill any of the vegetation that was poking its way into the fireplace. When the first real cold hit, a few days after the stove was installed, it was nice, it was pretty, but I didn't want it and I wasn't ready for it. Because of how cold everything was, I would arrive at the house and there would be condensation on any surface that wasn't porous. Around the stove that was installed, the sandstone had been painted, providing a nice smooth finish. The water would instantly collect as droplets onto this painted surface. There were also other areas where there was non-porous surfaces that were just covered in water, just dripping off. The internal stone around the house, you could see the minerals and the salt leaching out as the stone started to dry. The faces of the stones were just flaking and falling away. The house sits facing roughly south, and the house sits at the top of a hill with a wide open field in front of it. So when the wind blows, it blows straight up the hill and right to the house. On the front of the house, there's little air brick vents. The wind would just whistle through these vents and up through the floor in the main part of the cottage. It was very odd to sit in the house with the windows closed, and yet you could still feel the wind blow past. I would light the stove and I would load it up with timber, but the fire did very little to improve the freezing temperatures. This was the first time I realized that heat is not the same as warmth. You can light a fire, you can have a big stove, but that doesn't mean your home is ready for winter. I knew that the render was trapping the moisture in the stone, and so I knew that until the render came off, dampness was going to be an issue. The house can't breathe. But another thought that was entering my mind around this time, as I could feel and hear the air whistling through the crawl space of the house, was, is the crawl space properly ventilated? Or is it, as well, causing a dampness issue? I was trying to think slightly bigger picture and looking at the systems that make up the home rather than the individual parts that make up the rooms. I stopped looking at rooms and I started looking at airflow. So every time I went down, one of my first tasks would be lighting the fire. It only improved the temperature within the room by a few degrees. It was all I could do to warm up. I would light the fire and then I would head off and start pottering away with what I could get done that day. I was going through logs fast. I was burning through wood faster than progress. Week 9 was where things slowed down a little bit for me. One of the biggest ambitions from when I got the keys was getting the stove. It took 8 weeks to dig out the fireplace, lay the hearth, and then get the stove and get it installed. I was proud. I was proud of where I was proud of what I had achieved, but I guess I didn't realise how naive I was when I anticipated the difference that the stove would make. At this point in time, Ashley and I were still holding on to hope that we could be here within the next couple of months. And the stove was the pivotal thing that we thought would make that possible. But at this time, I felt like I had gained a lot of knowledge about what was going on and where we were. I still felt like I was behind. I was definitely fatigued by the cold and dark. And I was realising that the big changes that would make this house habitable would not come until spring. I knew I would be able to get a lot done throughout winter, but making the house habitable would take patience, time, and effort. I could rush to put the house back together, but the season wouldn't change for a long time. Winter taught me reality, and with knowing that the big changes wouldn't come until spring and summer, the main goal would be to make this house safe, habitable, and warm for next winter. So outside of work going on at the house, I was still doing my window cleaning with my cousin, and home life felt good. Of course, when Banana entered our life, there wasn't so much of a disagreement, but just an understanding that we had different responsibilities. As winter continued to creep in, and my energy levels started to drop, I spent a little bit more time around the house, just trying to get some admin done, trying to start packing stuff up for when we eventually do move. And this meant reluctantly bonding with little Banana. It was only reluctant because of the heartache from Mika passing last year, and also being spread so thin, I didn't want to necessarily have something else in my mind taking up my attention. I was also trying to get myself to come round on the idea of starting YouTube. Of course, I'd been documenting everything since day one, and there was a drive and a goal to start some form of a YouTube channel. I knew at this point in time, the second week of November, that I just didn't have the time or the capacity to take on anything new. So I did decide to bond with Banana. We played a lot, we cuddled, and I have to admit that it did help my head and did help my heart. I thought about YouTube, and I thought about the big picture, and the long-term opportunities that could come from putting myself out into the world. Of course, doubt was creeping in, but I was pushing it away. I knew I wanted to create, but I didn't necessarily know how, and I definitely didn't have the time. So I said to myself, next month, December. December is dark, cold, and it's a time that's good to be spent at home with your family and those that you care about. Next week, I go up on the roof by myself, and I clean the gutters and clean the roof. I start thinking into the big plans. Also, next week, we meet the new architect. Was he somebody that I could see working with on this project? Winter slowed the build, but it definitely sharpened the thinking. The house wasn't about stripping walls anymore, it was about making things work. If you've liked today's video, hit like, consider subscribing, drop a little comment, and I'll get back to you soon. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.